I'm going to tell you the psychology behind failure in just 3 minutes. So keep watching and get ready for the question that I'm about to ask you at the end of this video. Alright, so as a teenager, I used to love writing stories in my journals and my diary. So when I first started college in 2023, I started writing my very first story and I actually decided to, complete it and transform it into a novel. So after 3 years, I completed the story fully and I decided to publish it with the Alphabet Publisher to turn it into a novel. But then a lot of publishing houses turned me down. They rejected my novel, they rejected my idea, they rejected my plots and said that my story is way too unrealistic for readers and no one is actually gonna buy the book. But I genuinely believed that my story deserved to have readers because I put 3 years of work into my novel, into my story. I gave so much of my time and energy, so I desperately wanted it to be published. But in the end, I decided to self-publish it myself since it was my first ever story and I was in the beginner level, so I went ahead and self-published it. After I self-published my novel, I made only 60 sales. Only 60 sales, not more than that. Till this date, my first novel has only 60 sales, not more than that. So it was below the expectation that I had for my first novel, but obviously I could not have way too many expectations, right? So when I told my family members and some of my relatives and some friends, they started calling me a failure for even trying to write a novel when it could not be a hit or a success in my first attempt. So that's when I started questioning everything about failure. That's when I started questioning how I have been taught about failure. That I have always been taught to believe that I should not fail in anything that I try because failing means embarrassment, and embarrassment means having the tag of a failure forever. So I started questioning myself that if I never ever fail in trying something, in attempting something in my life, then how am I going to achieve success? How am I actually going to succeed in becoming the master of the craft, the art, the creativity that I actually want to pursue in my life? And I want you to ask this question from yourself too. If you never try anything in your life and if you never fail, then how are you going to succeed in your life? How are you going to make it if you never fail? If you never fail and you never learn again from it, then I don't think you're going to succeed in your life. Trust me, you're never going to succeed in your life if you never ever fail in your life. When I saw that I made only 60 sales and my sales never went up, when they never went up above 60, I was so discouraged and I was so sad. I was so heartbroken because I put so much of my time, energy, my effort, my self-esteem, everything into that book, but it could not make more than 60 sales. So I was so discouraged, so heartbroken. I decided to give up on writing more books, but then I thought that no, I should not give up so easily. I should not give up on writing more books because this was my first attempt. Most people don't even try in writing their first book, in writing their first, in trying their creativity, their art. Most people don't even try anything in their life because they're so bloody scared of failing.